In 2024, I lost 26 kilograms, and there's one variable that was the key to unlocking that weight loss for me. And no, it's not what you're thinking. It wasn't protein intake, it wasn't high volume foods, it wasn't step counts, it wasn't cardio. It was sleeping 8 hours every single night. And when fat loss stalls, we almost always think about nutrition and training. And of course those things are important. But oftentimes, sleep can be the missing part that nobody sees coming. By the end of this video, I promise that you're going to know why sleep is so damn important for weight loss, what you might be doing that's impacting your sleep negatively, how to actually fix those problems and put it into action so that your sleep turns from a weakness into a strength. Alright, why does sleep matter for fat loss? If you have a poor night's sleep, the following morning, you will have an increase in your hunger hormone, ghrelin. If ghrelin increases, as a result, you will feel more hungry throughout the day. Not only that, but you will have a decrease in your satiety hormone, leptin. In other words, the following morning, after a poor night's sleep, you will firstly wake up more hungry, and when you do eat, you will actually feel less full afterwards. Secondly, chronic sleep deprivation results in an increase in baseline cortisol, which also promotes fat storage. Thirdly, sleep is when growth hormone is released. Growth hormone is critical for muscle growth and for fat loss. If growth hormone is lower as a result of worse sleep, you'll preserve less muscle during your deficit, which means when you do actually lose weight, you'll also look less lean. Not only that, but by having less muscle, you'll have a weaker metabolism as well. Don't worry, I'm not finished yet. There are still more negative aspects of having poor sleep. Poor sleep also tanks your training performance. Worse training performance results in less output, less calories burned, and less muscle built. All things which mean less calories burned over the course of a long period of time. And finally, if you wake up after a bad night's sleep, your decision making and willpower is going to be worse, which means on top of the fact that you are more hungry and less likely to feel full after eating, you also have negatively impacted decision making, which makes it even more difficult to eat healthy after a bad night's sleep. Now that I've explained why sleep is so important and why we need to avoid sleep deprivation, let's try and identify what might be the issue that's holding you back from getting a good night's sleep. Number one, too much caffeine throughout the day, especially in the afternoon and evening. Number two, scrolling on your phone. The blue light suppresses melatonin. Not only that, but by doing a cognitively stimulating task, like watching TikTok before bed, for example, you also end up having a worse sleep because you are less able to relax before going to bed and your mind is still more turned on. 3, eating right before you go to sleep. The fact that you're going to be digesting food as you go to bed is going to negatively impact your sleep quality. 4, alcohol and or drugs have a massively negative impact on your sleep. Of course, some people say having a drink before bed helps them sleep. I know a lot of people will say having a joint before bed helps them sleep as well. However, from an objective, scientific standpoint, while they may help you fall asleep, in other words, they decrease sleep latency, quality of sleep will be much lower. So even if you sleep an extra hour as a result of having that glass of wine or having that joint, you will actually end up having a worse sleep objectively. 5, having an inconsistent sleep schedule. Your sleep schedule is arguably as important as your sleep duration. Believe it or not, but for some people, slightly less sleep, but on the exact same cycle, is arguably as much, if not more beneficial than having a good amount of sleep, but the times you're going to bed and waking up changing by 2 or 3 hours either side every single evening, as this has a negative impact on your circadian rhythm and your sleep cycles. Those are the potential issues. Here's how we fix them. Number 1, set a consistent sleep and wake time, and that means 7 fucking days a week. That does not mean I go to bed at 10 p.m. Monday to Friday and Saturday rolls around and all of a sudden you're going to bed at 2 a.m. and Monday comes and your eyes are falling out of your head at work. That means same bedtime, same wake time, 7 days a week. Of course, this isn't going to be possible for everyone. Some people have split shifts, night shifts. Some people are new parents, they have kids up at night crying. It's not always going to be possible, but if you have control over it and you can go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day, you absolutely should be. 2, cut caffeine out by early afternoon. This is a tough one because I'll be honest with you, I struggle with this and I often have caffeine late in the evenings, but I promise you, if you do try cutting your caffeine out earlier in the day, it will have a positive impact on your sleep. Caffeine has a 6-hour half-life, so if you have caffeine at 3, 4 p.m, that's still impacting you come bedtime. 3, limit screen time before bed and find something that helps you wind down that is not technology related. That could be listening to a podcast, that could be reading a book, that could be you knitting, for example. It could be absolutely anything. Everybody is different, but something that helps you wind down, chill out, that isn't super cognitively stimulating and doesn't require you to have a screen right up to your face. 4, avoid alcohol. Okay, now and then we can have a drink, but if you are sitting there knowing full well that your alcohol intake is having a negative impact on your sleep and you're drinking 2-3 nights a week for no particular reason, you have a problem and you need to fix that. Because alcohol, that's another video altogether, but the level to which we consider a normal alcohol consumption in Ireland is absolutely fucking insane. It is not normal to not be able to go a few days without drinking alcohol. It is not normal to need a bottle of wine every single weekend. That is not normal, and that's terribly impacting your sleep and your overall health. So if you want to sleep better, if you want to lose weight, you absolutely should be not casually drinking multiple times a week. Now, of course, now and then it's going to happen, but if you want to sleep better, drinking alcohol is your worst enemy. 5, don't eat a heavy meal right before bed. Again, coming back to the digestion point from earlier, you're still going to be digesting your food, you're going to feel it in your stomach, you're going to feel more awake, you're going to find it difficult to fall asleep. 6, supplementing magnesium glycinate. There's very strong evidence to suggest that magnesium glycinate positively impacts sleep. 7, and one not many people know, getting sunlight first thing in the morning is really good for your sleep that following night. And the reason for that is it helps positively impact your circadian rhythm. So your body naturally thinks, I've gotten sunlight, that means this is the first thing in the morning, which means that 16 hours later, at the end of the day, your body is naturally going to want to go to sleep and go to bed. You can be perfect with your diet and training, but if your sleep is shit, everything else is going to be 10 times harder. Sleep is the foundation of your health and well-being, and you can't build a castle on a bog.